It's 1997. You just bought Interplay's brand new game Fallout, a post-nuclear role-playing game. You shove that disc in your piece of shit computer that can barely run the internet. You get through Hellboy talking about some bunkers or something.
War never changes.
And then you make your character. You spend the next 15 minutes debating on how high your gambling skills should be, because on one end, it's an apocalypse, who the hell's gambling, but on the other, 95% of gamblers lose before they win big. You get your character all set, and then...
Oh my goodness! Squidward!
CGI, which stands for Computers Are Good at Images, has been a major part of video games for decades now. From making that trailer of yours a little more spicy, all the way to creating entire in-game cutscenes. In current year, we take crisp CGI in video games for granted. Video games as a medium have come so far that producing near lifelike cutscenes and animations is now the industry standard. Hell, half the time I was watching a God of War Ragnarok cutscene, it felt like I was watching real life. It's so detailed, I could see Kratos' pores, which like, ew. God of War, more like God of Pores. It feels like it's not until a game underperforms that we start to see how high these standards have become. But imagine, if you will, please, a time where this was the peak animation. Now your first reaction looking at this clay model Jimmy Neutron looking ass cutscene is probably,
what the fuck is this? This looks like dog doopy.
And you know what? I have to agree. By modern standards, many of these scenes have been objectively obliterated by the passage of time. But screw objective standards. Better graphics doesn't always mean it's a better game. And I got minutes to kill, so let's talk about it. And by the end of this video, hopefully you'll have a little more sympathy for our 3D model monstrosities of yesteryear. Remember 2 seconds ago how I said, by modern standards, many of these scenes have been objectively obliterated. Shut up! The key word here is modern standards. Well, why don't we change modern standards to a gaming audience at the genesis of new technology that had never been used before in the medium. Standards. When these games came out, fully modeled 3D cutscenes were brand new, and they were exciting. People had never seen something like this in their games before.
That's impossible!
It really did feel like the first step towards a new era of gaming, where living out our virtual fantasies could become reality. It was like going from your gaming training wheels to driving the brand new Ford F-150 because it's truck month. I can't wait to run over a toddler because I can't see over the hood of my car. This technology was the wave of the future, and many of these companies wanted to ride this wave to Cash Town. It wasn't just the novelty of emerging technology that gave these scenes their charm though. They also served a practical purpose for players. You see this? You can kind of tell what this character looks like and what's going on, but it doesn't feel real, does it? It's a bunch of pixels, and you can tell. It's the only visual you have to show what's happening, and it's all you'll ever get. Until... Whoa. 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 That's me? I'm doing that in the game! Holy shit! This is where the true magic of these scenes lie. Not only were they impressive technological feats, for the time, but they were also visual context for the player. Visual context that far exceeded what could have been achieved during actual gameplay. I mean, in-game Lara Croft is packing the pride and joy of the dead pharaohs, but cutscene Lara Croft? I mean, her face kind of looks like Play-Doh, but I'm kind of lonely.
You thirsty.
Full gore during gameplay of Killer Instinct on my SNES looks like a dude in a costume. But arcade cutscene full gore? You think this is what's going on in StarCraft? Nah, this is what's really happening. Cutscenes like these enhanced a lot of the visuals that lacked during gameplay. They were like these magic little sprinkles the game devs would put in to tell you, hey man, this is what the fuck is happening. There's 3 categories I like to place these scenes in. You got your spooky ones, the ethereal vibes, and one secret category that we will get to at the end of the video. Sorry, it's unlocked till the very end of the video, but if you want to watch it now, you gotta beat this video on hard mode. And if you want to comment on this video, you gotta beat it on very hard. So, sorry, I don't make the rules. The spooky ones. Even mentioning these scenes sends a shiver down my spine. You often see these in the horror games of the time. Typically they exist to establish an atmosphere, or the creepy monster that you need to run from. What I like about how outdated the CGI is in these cutscenes is that they unintentionally give these characters more charm, When I watch Nemesis in Resident Evil 3 and how clunky his movement is, because of the technical limitations, I feel like it almost makes it scarier. It's this big hulking monster and it's supposed to look uncanny. Or the opening of Clock Tower, where you see this whatever the fuck that was, moving in this rigid manner that just feels creepier than a smooth animation. While modern horror games can rather impressively render whatever spooky thing you want in crisp detail,
75% of Americans will experience gum disease at some point in their
I think there's some merit to these games' limitations. Something about that early CGI just feels so off in a way. Like the game is showing you something that looks realistic enough for you to conceptualize, but not realistic enough for you to believe it's reality. So you're left in this uncanny valley middle ground, and a slightly uncomfy feeling in the pit of your stomach, because your brain is filling in the gaps of how terrifying this being or spooky thing could actually be. It's the same mentality behind many popular liminal spaces today that give us that same uncomfy feeling. And yes, I am saying that Lego Island walks so the backrooms could run.
Hey!
There's no game that better captures this vibe than Myst, and its sequel, Riven. Both are hard as fuck puzzle games that I can never beat as a kid, but that's besides the point. These games utilize similar technology that our other examples did, but where Myst and Riven differ is their vibe. Because this shit feels like if Purgatory was created in Windows 95. Okay, it's like if someone took that feeling of trying to run in your dreams and just made it an entire game. And the reason why it feels that way is the same reason those spooky scenes were spooky. Whereas the limited technology made the horror games scarier, in some cases, it made these scenes more ethereal. Take this animation of the beach in Riven, right? It feels different. Uncanny, but not in a bad way. Like you've been transported to another reality, where things feel real, but you know they're not. Now take this same scene and use modern graphics. Yeah, it's a beach, I guess. For my money, and there's a lot of it, if you want the epitome of the horror and dreamlike feeling that this animation can produce, then look no further than the first game in this video. At the end of Fallout 1, there's a bad ending where you effectively join the antagonists, and your reward for joining their ranks is not some power-up or a secret weapon. In the final moments of gameplay, all you can see are the destruction of your people through the garbled remnants of the security footage, and, well, I'll just let the scene speak for itself. This guy really put it best. Unlike Helen Keller wading through the septic tank, I'm not blind to the shit. While I think there's still some very impressive animations that hold up today, there's also some cutscenes that are some straight ass. You know, the real bottom of the barrel. Animations that are just downright terrible. So join me in my humble compilation of our final category, the crap.
No, it sounds crazy, but it looks like they were killed with a giant pair of scissors.
Here it is.
What is your bidding, master?
Funny, all right? This is the dragon that killed my father.
Flying chicken is very angry.
That cleavage. Here I am. I'm going to chop my lunch. That's my lunchbox.
delivered us from evil, for thine is the kingdom.
Whoa.
I'm not lying, right, Chief?
Danny.
Stay back! Don't come any closer! Stay back!
Hope you enjoyed that, because I sure as hell didn't. Even though these scenes aged as well as any movie that opens with this, I still love them. They're time capsules of what technology we had at the time, and a reminder that in order to plant the seeds that grow into beautiful art, you gotta dig up some dirt. Thanks for watching, guys.